Sounds emitted by an animal are irrelevant to its nature. For a bird, it is no less a bird because it is silent. Counsel for the accused also argued that since there was evidence to show accused had ridden the animal, this pointed to the fact that it could not be a bird, but was actually a pony. Obviously, this avoids the issue. The issue is not whether the animal was ridden or not, or whether it was shot or not. For to ride a pony or bird is of no offense at all. I believe counsel now says his mistake. Counsel contends that the iron shoes found on the animal decisively disqualify it from being a bird. I must inform counsel, however, that how an animal dresses is of no concern to this court. Counsel relied on the decision in Richard Cardi, where contended that in similar circumstances the accused was acquitted. However, this is a horse of a different color. Close reading of the case indicates the animal in question there was not a small bird, but in fact a midget of a much larger species. Therefore, the case is inapplicable to our facts. Counsel finally submits that the word small in the title Small Bird Acts refers not to birds but to act, making it the small act relating to birds. With respect, counsel did not do his homework very well. For the large birds act, it's just as small. If pressed, I need only to refer to the Small Loans Act, RSO 1960 C727, which is twice as large as the Large Birds Act. It remains then to state my reason for judgment, which simply is as follows. Different things may take on the same meaning for different purposes. For the purpose of Small Birds Act, all two-legged, feather-covered animals are birds. This, of course, does not imply that only two-legged animals qualify. For the rest of the intent is to make two legs merely the minimum required. The statute therefore contemplates multi-legged animal which with feathers as well. Counsel submits that having regard to the purpose of statute, only small animals, natural cover with feathers, could have been contemplated. However, had this been the intention of the legislature, I am certain that the phrase natural cover would have been expressly inserted just as long was inserted in the Longshoreman Act. Therefore, a horse with feathers on its back must be deemed for the purposes of that to be a bird. And fortunately, a pony with feathers on its back is a small bird. Counsel posed the following rhetorical question. If the pillow had been removed prior to the shooting, would the animal still be a bird? To this, let me answer rhetorically. Is a bird any less a bird without its feathers? So, a very intriguing question is now posed involving the Small Birds Act, say petty crime. How do you consider the conclusion of the court in this case? Actually, very basic and also pejorative to define the bird as a matter of statute construction. So what bird is actually very obvious to define. This case involves the killing of a pony. Pony is generally a horse. The statute would not provide a direct definition from the kind of a encyclopedia approach, the kind of attitudes, very plain and approachable in easy way to define a bird. A very formal and blind line of approach to create criminal statute. 2 legs, feathers, very anonymous and blind to find a bird as a matter of statutory requirement. Nonetheless, generally you will see the kind of social fears about killing a pony. Pony is bigger animal than a small bird generally. So you're shocked. That is perhaps a general intent of legislature in enacting this statute. Then how do we exonerate this criminal? Of course, the principle required of a statutory interpretation, especially involved with the criminal statute, would be better or when we employ the kind of rule of lenity. So strict construction is very improbable in interpreting and applying the criminal statute. So the judge or court should be scrupulous and cautious in not expanding its meaning, normal meaning, normal understanding of phrases or terms in this kind of situation. So the judge should be generous about definition, should not be generous about definition of bird. But you will see some awkward result or cold reasoning of the process. However, I generally find the conclusion would be adequate, since it actually promotes a more fear or disruption when the defendant advanced to kill a pony. Killing of small bird is generally be viewed as indiscreet. So the concept might be expected to be invariable when we talk about birds, but in this case you will find a unique situation and court response involving the definition of bird, very variable to include the pony as a bird in applying criminal statute. So the common law system is generally understood as case law. Nonetheless, in some area of concern, what the criminal statute and public law of administration of government often poses challenges, which is same with the civil law traditions. They pose challenges. What is the most plausible understanding of or meaning of a statute terms? Kind of question could be dealt. So this is a British case and very interesting. So I gladly introduce. Okay, there are more for this class. Any question? And please write down your name and the shape.